demanding for others now. So there are things that we need to do as SAP, and I mentioned this in the morning, I will repeat again. We need to have goals which are time framed. I know the Gen Zs might not want to hear this, but in short term, what can we do? In medium term, what can we do? In long term, what can we do? There are things we can achieve like as soon as yesterday, and there are things that need to wait. For instance, if you look at the IEBC commissioners, we need to demand for our positions to be commissioners. And this is doable because Ruto is already listening. And the fact that he's listening, if you make demands now, then you're going to get those positions. But my question to you, Kibe, and to the rest of the listeners is, who is going to take those positions if the Gen Zs are not ready to take a seat at the table? If there'll be a vacuum, others will step in. And we need to take care of that as soon as possible. Taking our positions and taking them seriously. The next thing for me is looking at how do we deal with these members of parliament. We need to decentralize the movement from the city to the villages. These villages might disappear, but what we have now are those villages, the constituencies all the way to the ward level. We can do social accountability. And to do social accountability, you don't need any training. Most of the projects which have been done on the ground, costs have been doubled, tripled, even in some cases. And if you do social accountability, is to go from, in those wards, in those manyatas, in those villages, and hold the members of parliament accountable, hold the governors accountable, hold the president accountable, hold the people who are going to be nominated to be ministers. But before even once the nomination is done, it's already over. So how do we push the young generation to be part of this leadership? The time is now, it's not tomorrow, and I feel if we sleep on the job now, others will step into our spaces, they will take over what is meant to be for us, what we fought for, and it's us who will lose because we've already lost a lot of young people. 50 is not a small number, and the ones who have disappeared are more. More and more dead bodies are being discovered every day, day in, day out. There is a lot of trauma. People have never seen death. Now they have seen people dying. We're dealing with that trauma. There is a lot of confusion now among the Gen Zs because they least expected they'll face live bullets. They have faced live bullets now. How do we deal with this trauma? How do we deal with the families who have lost their own? Things are not the same. Life will not be the same for them. How do we deal with that? The movement cannot wait. The movement has to go on, but we need to sit at the table at the same time be on the street. You cannot just be on the street and say we are leaderless, we are tribeless, we are partyless. That kind of conversation, I think, cannot hold water anymore. We need leadership, and this leadership has to be very clear. There are spaces that are available for us to step in, and we need to step up our game. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Fatuma. Thank you for coming through. I don't know whether nothing, you have anything you want to say?
Maybe I'll start by thanking you again for giving us the opportunity to rethink. What she said is very true. We are very traumatized. We are wounded. But at the same time, it looks like we have to pull ourselves with our bootstrap forward. And I think this feels like a safe place for us to do that. So moving forward, I think when we gather, it will no longer be about where we have been staggering or holding back because we were holding our cards to our chest, but we will present forward. I don't know whether it's possible to do PowerPoint. I will look into that, but we will come back with tangible. And again, I want to thank everyone who has cared to listen. I thank you immensely, Kibe, for what you're doing. Keep doing it. It will not be in vain in the end. Maybe, and this has been a culture a lot of people forget, but be sure some of a lot of people are bringing different knowledge. A lot of people are coming from different background and knowledge. So in whatever that needs to be done, I believe we can move forward together. Apart from just complaining what is happening in the country, we can look into opportunities available for young people, even as we are agitating, and everyone else. Every Kenyan deserve an opportunity. As we are agitating, we will come back with information on. I think we need to look into this direction. I can make you a backward too as we move forward. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Nothing. Mariam, do you have anything you want to say before I give it to Anthony?
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to Let's Talk More Work. It's a challenge to Yukibe. So, yes, I'm here to watch this space.
But now that you're just throwing that on me, you know, I've been thinking about this challenge that everybody keeps giving me a challenge. It is a challenge to you. What challenge is this? What do we have? You know, there's a movie I watched one time. These guys are
Chosen.
Huh?
Chosen. Some things don't have to be said. You just feel the vibration.
I feel the vibrations here. Anyway, Mariam, thank you, Mariam, for whatever. You've been saved by nothing, K.E. I swear. I was going to go. God bless your little heart. Anthony, go ahead. Oh, Anthony, I can't hear you. Can you drop off and come back? Quickly. So, it is clear that there's a decision that has to be made today. It's very clear that we must make a day. Or rather, let me not say we must make a decision has to be made today. The first thing that we do is let's try that meeting again. Let's try that meeting one more time. Let's try that meeting one more time. I think that would be a better idea if we do the meeting. I'm trying to get. Okay, I've removed you, Anthony. Then try and come back quickly. You see. Yeah. So the idea here will be let's bring together everybody who we think at this juncture has had a voice that we can use. So let's bring all those people on the table somewhere. And now we can come up with an agenda from that point. So the agenda right now is to bring people together. Because without bringing people together, there's nothing we're doing. Even though you go say you want to register your own platform or your own whatever, all those things mean nothing unless people can agree to walk and work together. What do you think, James?
Yo, what's up? It's nice to see that you're still pushing, which is dope. I remember last time when we tried to have the meeting, the backlash was crazy, but at least there are people who responded. So it's true. It's like we should be walking the talk. I've noticed there's a very big lack of, let's say, taking responsibility from people and lack of trust. So because of that, we've already engaged some guys to have a virtual Kenya where we can discuss these issues from the ward level, and the system can automatically pick up the problems and solutions that people are coming up with. So I think the meeting should happen. Let's keep pushing for it. And then from that perspective, if we are moving in one direction, we'll be able to make more progress. We'll be able, because huko mashinani kusema ukweli, what you're saying, the narrative is not the same. A lot of education has to be done. And this education can't be done through social media only and just being here online. A lot of planning needs to be done. So let's shoot for that meeting again. Let's shoot for it.
James. Anthony, are you back?
Yeah, am I audible now?
You're good.
Good. Kiba, thank you for hosting the space. I think the take home for me, a lady asked a very good question. Do we form a political party? Do we form a movement? Do we go the Fatuma way where she has a social network? I would go the movement way. Something like Black Lives Matter. They are not a political party, but they have a very big sway on how the black voice in America is heard. Then, if we build our structure that way, because that way we shall be operating amongst ourselves. So there will be no fear of someone will be bought or anything, because this someone will be going to the table and coming back to us. And that to me is the question. So I'm just saying, for me, I would go the movement way or the Mariam way, where she has, I think they have been called CEO. What have they been called? Those, it's like an NGO thing. And then we see whether in that space that we shall be in, whether it's a movement or, because I think right now, for me, a movement is the best way, because Atul is not a registered party. He only represents a movement of workers. You get? But he has a say. KPDU is not a political party, but it represents workers. So can we think of forming or registering this Gen Z thing? Then within that space, if we find we can trust each other enough to agitate for the Kenya we want, to send the people to parliament, the people we want, that we can be able to endorse, like they do it in the US. Firefighters have endorsed this person. That way we shall be able to change this country into what we want without necessarily forming a political party. I think those are my parting shots for now. But sure, we need another talking space. That's it, Kibe.
All right, thank you, Anthony. Those are good ideas. Especially when you mentioned Atwoli, I was like, yeah, when you think about it, what has Atwoli been running this whole time? What is Kotu? Oliver Muyela Aswani, how are you?
Mr. Cretin himself, fit sana.
Niaje zinaipa?
Fiti.
Unasemaje? Hebu just changia story haraka vile nimeona umeka mbio.
Quick fast. So my thought is we need to have an agenda that we are aspiring to, and what people are saying, the Kenya we want. You remember, as Mayor Mwangi had the Nairobi we want. So we need to be very clear, what sort of Kenya do we want? And by now,